Welcome to BBSN, baseball fans. This is Anthony, and we are back with another 1969 payoff pitch replay featuring the Chicago Cubs in Game 4 of the season. And in this one, the Montreal Expos come to town for a 3-game series. And lineups today for the Expos: leading off and playing shortstop, Maury Wills. Manny Mota will be in center field and hit second. Rusty Staub will be in right field and bat third. Mac Jones will be the cleanup hitter in left field. Bob Bailey will bat fifth and play first. Catching today will be John Bateman. Batting seventh and at third base, Coco LeBoy. In the eighth spot, second baseman Gary Sutherland. And on the mound for the Expos, Mike Wegener, and he will be the only difference in terms of the actual in-play lineup for the Expos this day. And again, I messed up the pitching rotations a little when I was just playing games with various teams to start this replay. Carl Morton was actually the Expos pitcher that started this replay. And for the Cubbies, Don Kessinger will lead off and play short. Glenn Beckert, second base, will hit second. Sweet swinging Billy Williams will bat third, be in left field today. Ernie Banks moves up to the cleanup spot after the horrific injury to Ron Santo in yesterday's game, and more about that to come. But Ernie will play first. Randy Hundley will bat fifth and be behind the plate. Getting the start in right field today will be Al Spangler in the sixth spot in the order. Don Young once again gets a start in center after a huge 2-home run game yesterday that saw him celebrate a little bit too much after the second and get plunked his final time up in the game. So we'll see if that carries over. Paul Popovich will be the third baseman, and he will bat eighth today. And on the mound today for the Cubbies will be Dick Selma, and also was not the actual pitcher in this game. So regarding the pitching, Joe Niekro started 3 games for the Cubbies before they shipped him off to Purgatory in San Diego. And again, this is kind of this as-played / what if, which is why we have injuries. And in this case, I just elected to ship Niekro to San Diego a few games early. And for Ron Santo, he was beaned yesterday, which will force him to miss the entire season based on the rare events chart I introduced, which is from a project I'm working on. Has a lot more variety in terms of different things that can happen. And as luck would have it, that particular injury comes up once out of 300 possible chances on the card, and I rolled 2 rare events yesterday, and that was the first one, and that's what came up. So, had a couple of people ask for mercy, I guess, for Ron Santo. So I think what we're going to do instead of the whole season is I will do a 2-10 roll, and that will be the number of games he misses, with the caveat that has to be at least 40. So 40 will be the minimum, and 75 is the roll. So Santo will miss 75 games with his head injury. That's a nice round number, and as this is the 4th game, that will put him, we'll just say he comes back in game 80. So that will be enough of an absence to definitely have an effect on the Cubbies' pennant chances, and at the same time won't eliminate him for the entire season. So there you go, democracy at its finest. And a couple other things before we get started here. I did indicate, obviously this is going to be Cub focused, but I did indicate that I would be doing some other games if requested. And just a couple of those that are coming up. One on 4/17/69. I will be doing a Phillies Expos replay requested by Joe S. And that was a game in which Bill Stoneman for the Expos pitched a no-hitter. So we want to see if he can recreate that. So that will be one of the upcoming non-Cub telecasts. And then on 4/18, the next day, at the request of Jerry Ball, I will be doing a Red Sox-Indians matchup. And what makes this intriguing is Luis Tiant was a pitcher for the Indians at that time and actually lost that game to the Sox 10-7. So since he obviously has a tie to the Red Sox, went on to have some very good seasons with them. Thought that would be a good matchup, so that will be the second one thus far that we will have on the schedule that does not involve the Cubbies. So with that, in this actual, at this point, after 3 games, the Cubbies were 3-0 in 1969. In the replay thus far, they are 2-1. And in this actual game, Joe Niekro, despite having a less than stellar 8-18 season in 1969, this was not one of those games, as he pitched a masterful shutout, 3-hitter, I believe, and the Cubs blanked the Expos 1-0 in real life. So we will see what happens here in the replay, and we are ready to get going. Dick Selma is set, the fans are settled in, and it's time to play ball. Patient, and that is going to be, all right, get my bearings here, the righty will be a fly out to left field, 1 down for Maury, who you want to keep off the base paths. He's getting up in age, but he can still run a little bit. Manny Mota, and that'll be a tough, and struck him out. So right away, Selma looks to demonstrate his dominance and blows 3 of them past Manny. 9 will be a patient, and 81 will be out of range, and a ground ball to second base, which Becker takes care of. So good start for Selma as the Expos go down in order in the top of the first. Cubs coming to the plate. Mike Wagner finishes his warm-up pitches, and Don Kessinger, the banjo hitting shortstop with a great glove, steps in to lead it off for the Cubbies. And that's going to be tough. And that'll be a strikeout. So Kessinger, unable to find the spear, and heads back to the dugout. 1 down. Glenn Beckert, second baseman up. And that's going to be an in play. And Beckert's going to single back up the middle and takes a wide turn at first, heads back, and the Cubbies are in business here with a base runner in the bottom of the first inning, and Billy Williams up. Williams, one of the best swings in the history of the game, and that's a wheelhouse, folks, and Williams gets all of that. That is back, 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 and gone. No doubt about that, as Williams lays into an inside fastball and pulls that over the left fielder's head, and we have a quick 2-0 lead for the Cubbies. So already surpassing their offensive output of the actual game. And Wagner already on the ropes as Ernie Banks steps up. And that's going to be an in play. And Ernie just misses a single, gets under it, pops it up to first base, and Bailey will put that away. 2 down now. 2 down, 2 in, and Randy Hundley the batter. Wagner tough, and struck out Hundley. So Hundley flails away at the slider on the outside corner of the plate. As Wagner starts the inning and ends it with a strikeout, but in between gives up a 2-run shot to Billy Williams, and the Cubbies off to a early 2-0 lead. Mac Jones coming up for the Expos. Selma the pitch, tough, and Jones flails away, and he heads back to the dugout. So both pitchers have their strikeout ball working early in this one. Selma the pitch, and that's going to be a patient, and that is going to be a base on balls to Bailey. So Bailey gives the Expos their first base runner of the game, and he will not be running, again using the auto steal system as dictated by the 2-die-6 on the roll. And 11 will be a defensive check. 35 is the roll. Defensive check off the fact is an error at first base. And Ernie is obviously a converted shortstop, so he is stellar. And he has a 5 rating. So that will be a ground ball, as 35 is outside of range on his error check. And 11, that will not get the double play, as that will be outside the double play range of both Selma and Bateman, so fielder's choice. So a nice play, 3-6. And Bateman on at first with 2 down now. Gary Sutherland, Coco LeBoy, the batter. One of the coolest names, and he's not playing in this game, but another, it's funny what you remember from when you were a kid. 2 is in play, and 77 will be out of range. It's a fly ball to center field. That ends the second inning. But what you remember from a kid, I think probably 1970 or 71, the Expos were playing in the game of the week. And the Montreal Expos, they had a catcher, he's on this roster too, John Bucabella. And the announcer in Montreal just loved to hear himself say that name, and that's one weird thing that always stuck with me. Whenever Bucabella was playing, he played in the game I watched and made a good play, the announcer would shout out, trying to sound Italian, "Oh boy, a Bucabella!" And for some reason, that's just a strange, unneeded, random fact that has stuck in my head all this time. I don't know why. Some things you just can't get rid of. So Spangler's going to lead this off, and 10 is a tough, and that'll be a strikeout. So Spangler, hard to fan, but he cannot catch up to the heat from Wagner on this at bat. 1 down. Don Young, he of the big 2-home run Joey Bats pose get plunked in the ribs day yesterday. And 8, Wagner not coming after him. That's a patient, but Young will wait him out and draw the base on balls. So Cubbies, another base runner here in the second. And Paul Popovich in for the terribly injured Ron Santo. And that's going to be tough, and Pop, he's going to get a hold of that, and that's a single into center field. Base runner advancement off the fact, and line drive to center field. Runner on first advances 1 base. So we're playing station to station here. And with 1 down, the pitcher is up, and Selma, not a stellar hitter. He can bunt very well though, so we're going to go ahead and lay down the sacrifice with 1 down. And 37, and B is a successful sacrifice. He's an 11-90 on the roll on that. And that will go to the third baseman on the putout. So runners move up, 5-3 on the putout, sacrifice hit, and we have 2 down, back to the top of the order for Don Kessinger. And the Cubby shortstop steps in. Wagner deals the pitch, and that'll be a defensive check, and that will be at a 0-1, no matter who it comes up, will be an error or a hit. It's going to be a range play on the shortstop, and so out of range with a roll of 1. Don't even need to check that on the ballpark card. And shortstop, that will be a single plus 1 base advancement, so they are loaded now. I'm sorry, not loaded. Young comes in to score. And to third goes Popovich, the sacrifice paying dividends there. And once again, I make my obligatory early game mistake. But the Cubbies now lead 3-0. Glenn Beckert, runners at the corner, 2 down. And that's going to be a tough 31, and Beckert gets a hold of that one. And that'll be a single into left field, and that'll be 2 outs. Runners will advance 2. So Popovich comes in to score, and Kessinger moves over to third as Beckert gives the Cubbies their 4th run with an RBI single. And that will bring up sweet swinging Billy Williams, and Williams took one deep in the first inning. He said, one of these days, Alice, straight to the moon, and that's where he took it. And 6 will be patient, 31. And Williams a single. And that is going to go a soft blooper into left field. And 2 outs. Runners will advance 2 bases on that. So Beckert at third, and Williams with his 3rd RBI of the day. And the Cubbies now take a 5-0 lead, and it looks like there's going to be some early action in the Expos bullpen as 5 runs in. And using the fatigue ratings, 1 more, and Wegner will be fatigued and have to be replaced. So for the Spos, we'll go with a long reliever. And it's going to be Howie Reed warming up, who also started some games for them in 1969. And Ernie Banks steps in. Ernie popped out to first his first time up. And that's going to be a 12. Wheelhouse Banks lays into that. This is deep, 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 and it is gone. The crowd erupts as Banks plants one 7 rows deep. 3-run shot, and the Cubbies are breaking this one wide open. As Ernie Banks. So we now have 6 runs in this inning, and the Cubbies in the bottom of the 2nd lead at 8-0. It's getting out of hand. Reed has not had his obligatory 2-batter warm-up, so Wegner has to pitch at least to Hundley. Hundley, the 9th man to come to the plate this inning. And 10 is tough, 82, and that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. So Wegner finally gets out of it. 6-3 goes to put out, but the Cubbies, they bat around and they plate 6 big runs. We are through 2 innings, folks, and this one is 8-0 in favor of the Cubs, which no lead is ever safe in Wrigley's Field, but I would say there's a pretty good shot this will be. So Wegner, he's going to head to the showers. He goes 2 innings and gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, a walk, manages to strike out 3, but 8 runs. So Wegner, not his best effort, and the Cubbies in control early here. Okay, 6, 7, just updating stats. Yes, 2nd. Walk 3 Ks, 2 home runs. So he is in the showers. Howie Reed will come in to be the new pitcher, which means we will have a pinch hitter for the pitcher spot here in the top of the 3rd. So Gary Sutherland is up to face Dick Soma. And 11 is going to be a defensive check. 55 is going to depend where it goes. That's a range to left field. And Billy Williams is a D. Not too stellar. 1-57, so that will be a hit. And on the hit check outfield, that will be a single. So Sutherland on. And that will bring up the pitcher spot. And obviously, we're going to have a pinch hitter. Okay, just getting a new pincher hitting card if needed. So for the Expos, to get something going, and Jose Herrera will be the pinch hitter. Herrera, the multi-talented infielder. And Selma lines up, runner on first, nobody out. And that's going to be ballpark, and that is going to be wheelhouse. And Wrigley, we could have a softball game breaking out here, 0-0, and Herrera has no power from the right side. That's going to be a double. That's pretty much the roll you want when you get wheelhouse. That will be a double, and deep drive to center field. One hops the wall. Runners advance 2 bases. So Sutherland off that rocket shot isn't even able to score, but Herrera ends up at second base. And he's a 5, 3D. So the Expos now have a little something brewing here. And back to the top of the order, Maury Wills will be the batter. Selma, the pitch to Wills, and 9 will be Patient, 26. And Wills waits that out and draws the walk. So the bases are going to be loaded, nobody out. And the Cubbies, they just can't live with good fortune. Top of the 3rd inning, and the Expos threatening to climb right back in this game. Manny Mota, the batter. And 12, wheelhouse 20, and Mota also has no power. He will single. And tough breaks on these rolls. That's an opposite field liner, and runner on second scores. Runner on first advances 1 base. So that's going to get 2 runs home. Wills playing station to station, stops at second base as a throw comes back in, but a 2 RBI single for Manny Mota. We still have nobody out, and our score is now 8-2 Cubbies. This is shaping up as a barn burner here, and 5 will be tough. 68 will be out of range, and a ground ball to shortstop. 5 is within the double play rating of both Staub and Selma, so just like that, Rusty, you buzzkill. Wills goes to 3rd, but Mota is going to be erased on the 6-4-3 double play. 2 down, runner at 3rd, and things suddenly got a whole lot brighter for Selma and the Cubs, who were staring down the barrel of a big inning. 7 is tough, and that'll be out of range. A ground ball to short again. So 6-3, Kessinger takes care of that. The Expos do chip into that lead, though, coming up with a couple. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Cubbies 8, Expos 2. And Al Spangler will lead things off against our new pitcher, Howie Reed. Reed in 1969, 6-7, 4.84 ERA, appeared in 31 games, 15 of them starts. So they're going to look for him to ground out a few innings here. And 7's going to be in play. 44 will be a ground ball to 3rd. So 5-3, Spangler goes down. And that will bring up Don Young, center fielder. The pitch to Young is going to be ballpark 70. That's going to be in play. And 16 will be a single for Young. So Cubbies not taking their foot off the gas. And you hear the crowd in the background going nuts. Crowd, i.e. my miniature pinchers, who are upset they're not out here enjoying the action. Wheelhouse for Reed, but that's going to be out of range, and that will be a ground ball to short. 12 will be a runner advance. So Young goes to second base, and Popovich is thrown out at first. And we have 2 down as Selma comes to the plate. He's going to hit this time, obviously, with 2 away. Read the pitch, and that'll be Patient. 46 or 49, yeah, 46. And that'll be out of range and a ground ball to third. So LeBoy takes care of the pitcher, and the Cubbies are finally kept off the board. We are finished with 3, and it's 8-2 Cubs. So leading off now for the Expos in the top of the 4th will be Bob Bailey. And pitch will be tough, 33, struck him out. So Selma, after a little bit of a bump in the last inning, comes right back and sits Bailey down. John Bateman, the batter. Selma, the pitch. That'll be tough, 59, and that's going to be just out of range, almost a single. A ground ball to second base. Becker takes care of that, 4-3, 2 down. Selma looking to get cruising here against Coco LeBoy, and 2 will be in play. It'll be a fly out to center field, so 3 up, 3 down. Heading to the bottom of the 4th, still 8-2 Cubs. And Don Kessinger back to the top of the order. Kessinger today has singled, struck out. He has scored a run and driven a run in. Howie Reed the pitch. Roll this again. That was not even close. So 3 is going to be in play. 33. Just missed that one. Ground ball to the pitcher. So 1-3. Reed takes care of Kessinger. Glenn Beckert up. Beckert has singled twice, scored twice, and driven in a run in the early offensive onslaught for the Cubbies. And 5 will be patient. That will go base on balls for Beckert. He is on for the 3rd time. And 5 will be out of his jump range, so he will not try and steal. He was a very good stealer, just didn't run very much. And 9 will be in play, 54. A ground ball to third, and 9 is outside of the range of Billy Williams and Howie Reed, so that will be a fielder's choice. 5-4, Beckert goes down, Williams on a fielder's choice. And that brings up the cleanup hitter, Ernie Banks. Pitch to Banks is going to be patient, and 51. That's out of range, and a ground ball to third. So that takes care of the Cubbies, and we are through 4 innings. Our score remains Chicago 8, Montreal 2. And down big and not wanting to tax their bullpen this early, the pitcher will remain in to hit. And Howie Reed is a 5. And that's going to be a 9. That'll be patient, 22. And Reed ends up with a single, so pitchers continue to hit fairly well here. And you know what? Something happened here. We went out of order. Gosh darn it. The batter should have been Sutherland, and I'm willing to bet I have done my once-a-game trick of putting him in the Cubs lineup. Let's see if we can find out where he went. Hate it when I do this. Yeah, there he is. Look at me go. So Sutherland, patient 22, and fortunately there the result will be the same. So Sutherland is on with a single. And that will bring up the pitcher spot, and Reed will go ahead and lay down a sack this time. And he is a B. So 11-90, and that is a successful sacrifice hit. It will be pitcher over to first base. So 1-3 on the putout. That's H. And Sutherland is at second base, top of the order for Maury Wills. 1 down, and Expos looking to continue to chip away at that lead. 10 is tough, 18, and Wills whiff. He goes down swinging, so 2 down now for the Expos in the top of the 5th inning. Manny Mota the batter. Selma. Be a 4, a ballpark, and that's going to be wheelhouse for Mota, but Mota just does not take right-handers deep, and that'll be out of range, a ground ball to shortstop. Kessinger takes care of that, and the inning is over for the Expos. Heading to the bottom of the 5th inning now. And the Cubbies will look to continue to increase their lead here. 6-run cushion currently at 8-2. Randy Hundley the batter. And the pitch, patient, and 23 will be a walk. So Hundley gets it started with the base on balls. And Al Spangler up. Spangler, one of the few Cubbies who is not actually, yeah, he is one of exactly 2 who has not gotten on base today. He is struck out, grounded out to third to pitch. It'll be a tough 29, and Spangler gets a hold of this one, and this is a line drive into left field. The runners advance 1 base. So Cubbies building for the big inning again. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Don Young the batter. Young, 2 home runs in this early season. 8 is tough, 45, and Young whiffs back to the dugout you go, struck him out, and that is a big out for the Expos. It brings up Paul Popovich in at third for the injured Ron Santo. In play, 28, and that is going to be a single for Pop. And that's a line drive into left field as well. A runner on second scores. Runner on first goes to second base. So Hundley chugs around, and that's going to make it 9-2. Spangler stops at second. And Popovich has the RBI single. That'll bring up the pitcher spot, and 1 down. He's going to sacrifice again. Selma's a good bunter. 83 will be within range, and 4 is going to be pitcher to first. So we'll say 1-4 on this putout, sacrifice hit. And runners now on second, third for the top of the order. And Don Kessinger will be the batter. 10 is tough, 35, and Kessinger gets a hold of that one. 2 down, that's going to plate 2 more runs, and this is getting out of hand. Spangler comes around to score. Popovich comes around to score. And Kessinger with a 2 RBI single. It's his second and third RBIs of the day. And 3 runs are in now. It is now 11-2. And Reed, 1 more run for him, and he's going to become fatigued, and the Expos are going to leave him in there. They just don't want to tax the bullpen this early. Patient, 79. That's going to end the inning, a ground ball to shortstop. But once again, the Cubbies have the sticks going. 3 more come across the plate, and it is 11-2 after 5. And the fans are getting their money's worth. The Expos are looking for a flight back to Montreal as we go to the 6th inning, and Rusty Staub will lead it off. Pitch from Selma, that's going to be tough, 68, out of range, will be a ground ball to shortstop. So Kessinger whips it over to Banks, 1 down. Selma with a pitch, and that is a ballpark 51. That is just within wheelhouse. So Mac Jones takes a big cut. This ball goes deep, but it's going to be caught at the track in right field. Gave it a ride, but just did not get all of it. 2 down now. Selma breathed a sigh of relief. Not that 1 single solo home run would have hurt him. 6 is going to be patient. 17, that's going to be a walk to Bailey. So Bailey, that's his second base on balls today. He has struck out his other time up. And the Expos with a base runner for John Bateman. 2 down, Selma with a pitch. 8, tough, 11, struck him out. Bateman flails away in vain, and Selma heads back to the dugout as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning with a comfortable 11-2 lead. And Howie Reed comes back out for the Expos, wishing he didn't have to. And the pitch, and that's going to be a in play, and that'll be a ground ball to shortstop. So Williams goes down to start the 6th inning. Ernie Banks the batter. And Ernie in play, 88, is a ground ball to shortstop as well. So 2 quick outs to short. He has Maury Wills earning his payout there. Randy Hundley the batter. Hundley is 0 for 2, but he has walked and scored a run, also struck out and grounded out to short. 7 will be in play, 47, and that's going to be a pop out, and Wills is under this, so Maury takes care of it all himself. 3 up, 3 down for the Cubbies. And we're heading to the 7th inning, our score 11-2. And Coco LeBoy will lead things off for the Spos in the top of the 7th. And in the Expos bullpen, they are going to get another pitcher up. And it looks like Gary Wasilewski will be warming up. And the pitcher spot when it comes up, it's going to be Ty Klein has a bat ready, and he will pinch hit. So Coco LeBoy looking to start the beginning of a miraculous comeback, and it's not going to be on this. Tough is a fly ball to center field. 1 quick out. Gary Sutherland, the batter, found his way back into the appropriate dugout. 8, tough again, and 65. That'll be a fly out to center field. So Don Young puts away the first 2 of this inning, and pitcher spot up. And to the showers you go. Wasilewski will be the next pitcher, and Ty Klein will be the pinch hitter here. And Klein, a outfielder first baseman, and against right-handed pitchers he hit .244 in 1969. And he steps in looking to get the Expos a base runner, and that is going to be 0-9. 8 is tough, and Klein makes a very brief appearance and heads back on the walk of shame as he strikes out to end the top of the 7th inning. And we are now into the 7th inning stretch. Harry Carey, he's got the Budweisers out early, and he's having a good time serenading the fans here at Wrigley as the new pitcher, Gary Wasilewski, takes his warm-up pitches. And closes the book on Reed. He went 4 innings, pitched fairly well, had a terrible inning in the 5th where he gave up 3 more runs. But apart from that, was effective. So Al Spangler is set to lead it off against Wasilewski here. And 5 is tough. That's going to be a fly out to right field. So Spangler takes a big cut, but gets way under that, and that's a mile-high pop out. Rusty takes care of out and right. 2 is Wheelhouse, and 89, a big cut by Young, but he cannot get his 3rd home run in 2 days as he hits this one on the ground to Wills. And 6-3 is a putout. A great cut, just swung over the top of the ball and turned into a hard grounder. Popovich the batter now. And 8's going to be in play, and 34, and Pop filling in admirably for the injured Ron Santo. Has his 3rd hit of the day. He has scored twice and driven in a run. And with the big lead, we're not even going to worry about stealing at this point. Pitcher will hit. 5 is tough. That's going to be a strikeout. So the inning is over, and the Cubbies will not pile on any more damage, but they have a comfortable enough 11-2 lead as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Top of the order for the Expos, Mr. Maury Wills steps in. Maury Wills, who famously dated Doris Day, allegedly back in the day. In play, 86, and that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop, so his counterpart Kessinger takes care of Wills. And we have one down. Got a really rowdy crowd today. They're barking up a storm in the background there, probably because I haven't fed them yet. 3 is going to be in play, and 55 be a fly out to right field, 2 down. Actually, my dogs are just big baseball fans. They just want to be involved here. 3 is in play, and 15 to Staub, and Staub is going to single into right field, so the Expos have a base runner. That's Rusty's first hit of the day. He had 3 groundouts prior to that. Mac Jones, a cleanup hitter, and he just missed putting one into the bleachers his last time up. 8 will be tough, and 70. And it'll be a ground ball to shortstop as Kessinger picks up, goes the short way to second, and the threat ends. As minimal as it was, we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 11-2, Cubbies in total control here. Wozlewski out for his 2nd inning of work, and Don Kessinger will be the batter. Wozlewski, ballpark, and 62, that'll be in play with the righty. And 38 for Kessinger will be a pop out to second base. So Sutherland takes care of that. F4 for Don, and 1 down for the Cubbies. Glenn Beckert up, and Beckert, a couple of singles, a walk, scored a couple of runs, driven in a run. Who hasn't today? It's defensive check, 80. Unless that's a 1 on an error, we will be okay. So error check on the second baseman. And Sutherland is a 3. So no error there. That will be a ground ball, 4-3. Beckert goes down. And Billy Williams, the batter. Williams, 3 RBI day with a single and a home run. 7 is in play. 35 for Billy, just misses that, and that's going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher. So Wozlewski puts the Cubbies down 1-2-3, and that will probably be the last at-bat they need, as Selma will look to go the distance here. And Bob Bailey will be the first Expo batter. That's patient. And Bailey's going to take that, and it rattles around down in the left field corner. Misplayed. Bailey heading to third. Here comes a throw. He slides head first. He's safe under the tag. So to start the 9th inning, Bailey with a 3-bagger. And the Expos looking to claim a little bit of dignity from what has been an otherwise humiliating day. John Bateman will try and get to the 3rd run across. 6 is patient. 92 is going to be a fly out to left field, and on the fly out we have runner's choice. And Bailey has a speed of 7, and left fielder arm of Williams is a 5. He's not going to chance that. So that'll be a fly out to left, 1 down. Coco LeBoy, the batter. Dick Selma looking to get the complete game. That's going to be tough, 39, and LeBoy, swing a miss, strike 3, 2 down, and 1 out away from the complete game route. Selma faces Gary Sutherland, gets the sign, kicks, delivers, and that's going to be patient, 42, just out of range, and that ball is hit down to third base. And up with that is Popovich. Has very few chances this game, but he whips this one over to Banks, and that'll close the books for this one at Wrigley. And the Chicago Cubs, they scored early and often, added a nice insurance burst in the 5th, and they cruised to a comfortable 11-2 victory over the Montreal Expos here in Game 4 of the 1969 payoff pitch replay. Selma goes a distance, gives up 2 runs, gets the win, and Mike Wegener only lasted 2 before being knocked out of the box. He gives up 8 runs. And player of the game, much to choose from here, but it looks like we're going to go with sweet swinging Billy Williams. He went 2 for 5 on the day, single, a home run, scored twice, and drove in 3. So from the friendly confines, Harry and I are going to get a bud. Have a great day, everyone, and let's roll.